This is the first live I've done in a while. Uh, there's always thoughts on my mind, things that I have to talk about, things uh, that I talk to friends and close uh, people that I trust. My biggest issue is my dad. Past couple of days have been um, tough. Now, I took him to the hospital Monday, for an issue that's a continuing issue that he's constantly been dealing with, and that's been his breathing. Um, it hasn't been fun, but it's something that needs to be done. And I took him to one specific hospital per his asking, which I had been asking and pleading with him for. Been pleading with him since last month. Go back, and he just didn't want to do it. All right, fine. Prayed about and asked and asked, but then he finally decided to go today again because he's just been having a lot of breathing difficulties. Now, last month, doctors said it could have been due to pneumonia. I've mentioned that before. Now I'm hearing that he has a defibrillator on the left side of his chest and it's swollen up. And now I'm hearing that could possibly be why he's having these respiratory issues. It's very hard and frustrating to deal with someone that you're trying to help them and they're not helping themselves. And I understand it's been a rough month. Last month was rough for us both. So like I said, it marked 3 years that my mother passed away. That was 3/10 of 22 that she passed. And then my grandmother, my dad's mother, passed on the 16th, 3/16. Alright, great. I knew that would be rough. I paid my respects before she passed. I didn't go to the funeral because I've already made peace with her passing. I already made peace with that. Um, Man, I was gonna go, but there was something that occurred, and I didn't want to uh, not have peace. My goal is to maintain my peace, and it's kind of difficult when I didn't have familial support as I thought I would have had. And I'm not one that, it's not easy for me to continue to keep coming after people, to tell people certain things that have happened within the household that I've already made mention in the past about. I'm the type of person I'm gonna sit up there and I'm gonna tell you a couple of times, and after that I'm gonna stop mentioning it because I need to see action. I don't need people giving me words of advice. I didn't ask for that. I knew what it was when I sat up there and volunteered for this job. I knew what it was. I knew exactly what it was. I saw my mother deal with it firsthand. Been doing this for way longer than 5 years. Way longer than that. And I put up with abuse of all types from my dad. But I never left. And yesterday was a very peaceful day. You know, Somehow the nurse was able to talk my dad into staying at one of the hospitals he was in because he likes to leave and sign himself out against medical advice. And he does that a lot. And I have to work. And I have one vehicle that I use to do everything that I do. My job, I do deliveries for DoorDash. I've been doing it for several months now. The gig is not the easiest either, but I'm still able to make it. And, like I said, today, I just called to check in, make sure my dad was dialyzed because he's on dialysis, and he has to have it 3 times a week. And I've had battles with him over and over for him to go and attend his treatments like he's supposed to. He just won't. He just not very agreeable at all. And it's rough. It's very rough because I don't have brothers and sisters. I've mentioned this before. Some of you are new. Some of you don't know my story. And right now, I'm not even trying to recant all of that. Really, I'm just using this as a de-stressor just to get my thoughts off. De-stressor. See, my words are even getting a little tied together. So, like I said, I called in to check and make sure he was having dialysis today. He tells me that no, the doctor said they weren't. His nephrologist wasn't allowing him to do that because he had dialysis yesterday. The other issue is my dad has memory problems, cognitive issues. I believe there are some symptoms of uh, dementia. I don't want to claim that, but I know what I've seen. And all I wanted was to have a doctor screen him one way or the other. If he doesn't have it, cool. Okay, now I know what I'm dealing with. One way or the other, I just want to know what I'm dealing with because I'm dealing with an enemy that I can't prepare for. And my dad's had certain behaviors and patterns that were not very nice, not very respectable, and I still go through this crap with him. It's like I said, I called him to ask him that, and he starts complaining. He wants to go home. It's like you're not gonna have your issue resolved if people don't do things right away for you. It's not gonna magically go away. He hates being in the hospital, and I hate going because it's rough. It's not always a fun thing, but nobody likes going to the hospital like that. And he doesn't seem to understand that. And then there's other issues that I have to take care of at home. I have to manage a lot of different things. And I don't always feel great. I get it. One would say, well, you're young. Yeah, I get I'm 38. I'll be 39 in July. But I've been through a lot. The hits just keep coming. I've lost a lot of people in a short period of time. The hardest was losing my mother, and I still haven't mourned her well. I'm still processing. I feel like a boxer in the ring that just keeps getting haymaker after haymaker. I'm trying to catch my breath. When ain't no referee stopping it. It's just blow after blow after blow. And realizing like, hey, Dad, I'm the only person really here with you. Ain't nobody else running to the hospital to come see about you but me. And I had an issue that I'm not getting into details. Let's just say it could have cost me some years of my freedom over some nonsense. So like I said, I speak to him. I just asked him a simple question because his actions tell me he doesn't want to continue living. There's a lot of things my dad be manipulative and he does not always tell the truth. I know the truth and I tell the truth, people play it off like I don't know what I'm talking about, but they dismiss it. And that's why I don't talk to certain family members. I will not talk to them. I have my reasons, and I know what I lived through, and I know what's real and what's not. And all I try to do is keep my head above water. My dad's put me through a lot from a very young age to well into my adulthood. And I get up every day. It's difficult. I try to keep a smile on my face. It's not always easy. People look at me and think I'm a malcontent. No, it's because you don't know what I deal with day to day. We all have our struggles, but I'm not here to talk about anybody else's struggles. This is particularly based on me and what I'm dealing with. And I had my dad curse at me, likes to cuss me out a lot of times. And I'm just getting kind of fed up with it. Just from a simple fact, like, I'm sorry that you're having issues breathing. I've done all that I can. All I can do is suggest. I told you I love you. I run around. I make sure my dad has food. I make sure he gets to his dialysis treatments, even though he has transportation set up. But that's not always enough. It's not always enough. And I do not like disrespect. There's no reason to curse someone out. It's because you asked them a real legitimate question. Might not have liked that I asked you, but it needed to be asked. And I didn't specifically say what that was. Now, I have not spoken to him since. Called the hospital, tried to get an update. Couldn't get an update because I guess the nurses were too busy and they never called me back. So I'll look at it this way. At least I'll get another night that I could try to get some solid sleep before I have to go at some point tomorrow and pick him up. So we'll see how it is. Hello, Stacy, Dolores, Minnie Gray, Kineto. I don't know how to say that. Kineto Pet. Yeah. So give me 1 second. Oh, boy. So I hope everyone had a good day today. I really wish that I had more exciting things to talk about. I would have talked about the time I went to the zoo. I think it was like not a zoo, but a farm. But um, that's what my profile picture is from when I got on a horse named Goliath. It was a young stallion. And thing is I've had no plans of even getting on the horse at all. I had no idea I was even going to go to a farm. Just a friend of mine asked me to go with him to the farm, and I did. And I have to say, seeing those animals, that was the first time I've been to a farm in a long time. And I love being around animals. It was cool feeding goats and horses and donkeys and all of that. It was very cathartic, very much so. It's good for my soul. And I guess seeing the kids and uh, older adults getting on the horse, then I was thinking, I'm like, well, let me go ahead and mount this horse and see what happens. And, that was the first time in many, many years. Not the first time ever, but the first time in a very long time that I had been on a horse. The horse was very gentle. It's a kind soul. It felt weird for me to be up there because, I'm tall and I'm heavier than what I used to be. Um, it was an adventure, but it's something I definitely would do again. And there's a lot of things I haven't been able to do. And I'm not complaining. Like, I knew that when I volunteered to take care of my uh, dad, I knew it was involved. I've known it my whole life. Now, part of me, I knew I had, you know, I have a lot of my mother's spirit, quiet, gentle spirit in me. But I'm misunderstood a lot by a lot of people because they might see me and I don't always have a smile on my face because I'm always deep in thought. I'm thinking about things or something's bothering me. And I wear it on my face. People don't understand that about me. It's probably think I'm a malcontent. And a lot of things are just a very sensitive person. And, I can't be around certain people or things these days because it disrupts my spirit. And I just can't be around that. I used to be, in certain platforms or certain shows. And I just see the longer I hang around, the more I observe people, the more I thought certain people in my corner, yeah, I just see them in a different light. And, you know, and I adjust and I decide, do I want this in my life? Or am I going to start pruning and cutting things away? And now this season is going to be just that. A lot of pruning. And I know my people that care. I feel it, I respect it, and I appreciate it. And I try to be for them too. I try to be there for people too. It's just hard. It's very hard. It says even harder when the person that you care about the most is not like they used to be. They're frail and they're dying before your eyes, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do to save them other than if you have a strong faith and you follow Jesus Christ, then you be able to pray for them. There's comfort in that. I'm sorry to hear that, Dolores. It's like everybody's going through something. Everyone. Lord, I just ask that, you strengthen Dolores' husband, Patrick, as his brother's not doing very well. Um, Pray that you give him the strength he needs to be able to go through his day and work and continue to be the rock and uh, support for his family. You know, because, and also to strengthen uh, Dolores as she tries to uh, support him as best as she knows how to. I know they're going through a hard time, Lord. So I just ask that you make that uh, road a little bit easier for them. And if that's your will to have other people come alongside them and help them, let your will be done. It's not our will, but thy will be done, Lord. So I just ask that right here in this moment in time. And I thank you. Also, pray you upkeep Patrick's sister as well. Uh, Let's continue to uh, love on that family, Lord. And I thank you and I ask this humbly in Jesus' name. Amen. I thank those that have come in. I mean, I've seen the numbers change. I mean, I think I had as many as 10 people at one point, 10 to 15, but a lot of them left. So, hey, you're welcome, Dolores. I need to come on because, even though I had an apartment to myself, I mean, it's me and Lily here, I still can't rest like I want to. Like, my mind is like, it's constantly running. And I'm afraid. God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but in a natural sense, I'm afraid of him passing just because I'm not prepared for that. You know, I mean, I didn't want to go back into the workforce and work a 9 to 5 just because, you know, I still have plans to operate a business. I'm just not sure how that's going to happen just yet. But I am kind of drained and tired of a specific cycle of things that are happening with him. But like I said, he may be afraid too. But, you know, being a butt to people is not going to help. Complaining and signing yourself out of hospitals do not help. It makes the situation worse. And all I ask is for God's will to be done with this thing. I've asked it over and over. That said, for the record, I do not want my dad to have dementia. All I know is he is very forgetful of things, and he is definitely not the person that I knew at all. And having family members that don't talk, that doesn't help. Don't talk and don't act does not help at all. But that's the situation I find myself in. And it has to change. It really has to change. And it will change. So I don't know if anybody else has a prayer request. I don't know if you on Stacy, if anybody's there that has any other requests um, that I have not asked about. Feel free to put them in the chat while I'm still on, because I'm probably gonna be on for a few more minutes and then alive. Yeah, I wish I had more to talk about today, but there was nothing really special that occurred today that I have to even want to talk about. I'm scratching my beard and head a lot just because my head is itching. That very well could be nerves, I'm not sure. But, it's just a lot going on. And sometime this month, will mark 8 years. A lot of anniversaries coming up. Certainly 8 years that my mother's sister passed to brain cancer. And we also lost the home uh, back in 2017. So it's been 8 years for that as well. Then next month will mark a year since a friend of mine um, took his life. A lot of things coming up. I had to put one of my cats down back in July 20th in my birth month. And it'll be 4 years in August since my grandfather had passed away. I don't say these things to dampen the mood or anything like that. It's just to paint a picture of what I was saying, being a fighter in a ring and constantly getting blow after blow after blow after blow after blow. And not having enough time to even process it right. And then not have uh, emotional enough support to help navigate things. And then being vilified because you got a parent that doesn't tell the whole truth. Things get left out. You don't have family members that hear your side of the story, even try to get things from your perspective. No, I feel that way now, Dolores. I felt like that for quite some time. And then I find comfort in food that hence the weight gain. Like I said, prior to this, I had never been past, I had never been 250. I'm, 250 plus maybe, which isn't a whole lot, but for me, that's heavy for me because I'd always been a skinny dude. But and then you have uh, uncles that want to sit up there and make jokes. Yep, it is, Gia. It definitely is. Thank you for coming on the the live. And so, man, I keep a small circle. I keep a small circle of friends, and I don't trust a lot of people. And that comes from that comes from my past, things I've had to deal with from childhood. If they start with my dad, but I don't feel like going down that rabbit hole. But you know, just leave that as it is. But I know tomorrow will be better. So I get up and do my usual. Try to rest. Or also dealing with a pain in my right leg, which may or may not have been a properly stretched out leg. I deal with sciatic pain, and I'm involved. Uh, you know, I'm part of parking ministry at my church. So every Sunday for the second service, I'm out there in the parking lot, you know, doing what I can do. So, yeah, that's all I could do, Austin. I mean, Stacy, I'm sorry. That's all I could do, Stacy. Also, I'm not sure if you are a troll or not, but I see everything in the comments. I've just chosen not to respond because I'm in my thought process, but please do not be a troll. Please do not be, because this is not the place to be trolling. I have no patience for that.